Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Norat. A year ago tonight, I was in my first month of Ready, Willing, and Able. In fact, I was standing right outside those doors greeting people, welcoming them to this gala. Last year, I was on the outside looking in, not just at this beautiful event, but at life in general. I didn't have my path yet. I didn't know what my future looked like. And I definitely couldn't have imagined being up on this stage 12 months later speaking to all of you. But a lot can happen in a year. Today, I am a graduate of Ready, Willing, and Able. All right. I am a licensed pest control professional in the great state of New York. And a few weeks ago, I moved into my very first home. I want to clarify that, because I've always had a roof over my head. When I was a kid, I had a roof over my head. When I was a kid, I had a roof over my head while I watched my family doing drugs, and then I eventually got hooked on them myself at the age of 8 years old. When I was running the streets, scaring the people in this city, I had a roof. And for the 20 years I spent inside the penitentiary, I had a roof then too. What I've never had is a home. Going away for 20 years is a terrifying thing. But after a while, all the fear about how you're ever going to get through it gives way. You don't have a choice except to get through it. And little by little, the fear is replaced by sadness, by loneliness, by despair. The worst time of the year is right about now, when the holidays are coming up. In a prison yard, you could watch TV. It was usually a great way to escape. But during the holidays, the only things on television were shows about families together around a big table with turkeys and Christmas trees and gifts. They were all at home, all together, and they looked happy. I have never had a meal like that in my entire life. Not even when I was a kid. I have never had the holidays or Thanksgiving or anything that looked like what was on TV. Feeling the weight of the next 20 years ahead of me, I never thought I could. So around the holidays, I used a little bit of privacy and time you get alone in prison to grieve, to weep. In jail, you make about 17 cents an hour working around the cell block, so it's a good thing that hope is free. The hope of getting out one day, the hope of getting a chance to make something out of my life. The hope of having a home instead of a roof over my head. Not just a roof. My friend Pete Martinez and I, we did a lot of hoping together. He was in for a lot longer than I was. What we decided was, if you're going to keep optimism alive in prison, then you have to make plans envision your future, and then actually do something about it. So before Pete and I got released, we got to work. I learned how to read in prison. I learned how to write in prison. I saved up my 17 cents an hour for months to buy a radio just so I could listen to NPR and improve my vocabulary. I got my GED in prison, and I kept going and going because I still had some hope left. Pete and I spent a lot of time in the prison yard talking about what we'd do if we ever got out. In the early days, they were just dreams. But as we got closer to the possibility of parole, it got serious. We needed a plan. We needed a place. And in an old directory of services they kept in the prison library, we found the Doe Fund. We came to an agreement. Whichever one of us made it out first would go, check out the program, and report back. That was the plan. After 27 years in prison, Pete got approved for parole. Everything he told me was everything I had hoped for. The program was real. The people cared. You can earn a good wage. You could educate yourself. But most importantly, you can turn yourself into a real person. A person who pays taxes and has a job. You could even become a person with a home. As soon as my feet hit the pavement, I signed up. Even if every decision I had made in my life was wrong, I knew that getting myself to the Doe Fund was right. The people here, they didn't just see the person I was when I went to prison, or even the person I was when I got out. Surprisingly, they saw the person I could be. And now, here I am. Now here I am, 1 year later, with money in my pocket, with a career, with a future, with a home. In a strange way, I'm grateful to the young guy named Richard Norat who went to prison 21 years ago. I'm grateful because he didn't get me killed or locked up for the rest of my life. I'm grateful to my buddy Pete, who's out there right now, doing well, living a good life, and putting all the hope we had in prison to good use. Yeah. And I'm grateful to the people in this room, because people like you are the reason why my hope didn't die in prison. This is the first time in my life that I have a bed bigger than a cot. I have a bathroom I don't have to share with 12 other men. And this winter will be the first time in my life that I spend the holidays with a turkey at home. Yeah. I have spent the last 20 years of my life on a journey to this moment where I can hold my head up high and tell you that I've been educated, I'm working hard, and I'm living honestly. It feels like a miracle. But thanks to very real angels, George, Harriet, the Doe Fund, and all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much for helping me get home. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a lady who created a memoir writing class in the Doe Fund, which was very influential to me. One of my mentors, and someone who I consider truly one of my best friends, Miss Abigail Pogerman.
Thank you, Richard. It goes without saying that that was extraordinary, but I have a surprise for you before you leave the stage. You have a special guest, and his name is Pete Martinez.